The rotator cuff, as I have mentioned before, is the main stabilisers of the ball in the socket. So in the shoulder joint, keeping the ball in its socket, that's the whole role of the rotator cuff. What tends to happen is in your shoulder, your internal rotators of the shoulder also include your lat muscle, the latissimus dorsi, as well as the pec major, as well as teres major. Three huge muscles that aid into internal rotation. The external rotators are only the small rotator cuff muscles and maybe a little bit of posterior deltoid muscle. So the imbalance between internal rotators being so strong versus external rotators being very weak is always something you have to be wary of in the gym. If you think about a general gym program without any exercises, they always include a lat pull down is a very, very common exercise, a push-up, or a chest press. So you're using chest, you're using lats a lot. A lot of the time people don't put in any rear delt work or any external rotating of the rotator cuff. And that creates a big imbalance in the shoulder. Pulls the shoulder joint forward, loads up the tendons and creates more impingements and shoulder tendon problems. So what I want to show you today is the progressions of the rotator cuff. I find that a lot of people know how to do the rotator cuff in a neutral position, and that's all they tend to do it in. They don't progress to further functional positions of the rotator cuff. So what I want to show you is how to progress that through from beginner to more advanced. First of all, isometric is the way to go. So imagine there's a wall or a person in front. You can just basically pulling in, activating the internal rotators, doing your isometric internal rotation, but more importantly, pushing out to activate your external rotators of the glenohumeral joint. So first of all, just starting, holding for a few seconds, going up to a set of 10 to 15. Once you're able to do that, you can get out your band or you can use cables, but the cables tend to be harder than the bands. So from this position, you can do a very small range of movement, just opening slightly, remembering to keep the scapula absolutely still and stable while you're doing these exercises. You can increase the range of motion as pain subsides and strength improves. You can work right through range for external rotation. You can also do your internal rotators if you just attach the TheraBand round to a pole and or get a person to hold it, either way, but attaching it to a pole and you're going from that position, bringing your hand in towards your tummy, that's more internal rotation through the shoulder. From here, the idea is to take the elbow a little bit further out to the side. The closer the elbow is to the side, the more stable the shoulder is. So if you take the elbow out to the side, say about 45 degrees out to the side, the best way to do it is to make sure the angle of the TheraBand is correct, bringing the hand facing downwards, and you're going to slowly go into an external rotation exercise from there. Much harder to control, just drop it down a little bit so it's a bit too high. Just from there, much harder to control the ball in the socket the further the arm goes out to the side. So you can go attach it to a pole and away you go from there. You can also do this one on a cable machine as well. And then taking the arm straight out to the side, going right out into 90 degrees abduction, going into external rotation from there. Holding it there. This is a great position to try then mimic overhead smash, volleyball, baseball pitches, throwing things, all of those throwing sports. They have to rehab the rotator cuff in a 90-degree abduction position. There's no point in doing all the small rotation cuffs and going back out and playing tennis and smashing from this position here. So in this position, you can practice mimicking the more functional exercises of the rotator cuff, coming forward and down, like in tennis, like in baseball, volleyball, all of those throwing sports. And there's my progressions for rotator cuff. Good luck.